You know about the photographers, florists, bakers, adoption agencies, coaches, chaplains, counselors, fire chiefs, innkeepers, and printers who have been targeted because of their beliefs about marriage, sexuality, or gender. Now we can add foster parents and farmers to this growing, ominous list. First, the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services developed new enhanced policies that claim to promote the well-being of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer questioning children and youth in the department's care. Now, how do they aim to protect these children? By slashing the number of families who can be foster parents. The new rules establish an ideological test to care for the most vulnerable children in our communities. According to the guidelines, all children have a right to self-determination of gender and sexual orientation, and individual choices about sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression should be viewed as developmental milestones, not as problematic behavior. As a result, staff, providers, and foster parents must support and respect a child's explorations without any effort to direct or guide them to any specific outcomes for their exploration. Now, once upon a time, we believed it was beneficial for children to have input from adults who could help them navigate the difference between what seems helpful and what is helpful. Now, the job of foster parents in Illinois is to celebrate whatever decision the abandoned, hurt, likely traumatized child they are sacrificially caring for makes. You think anatomy is connected to gender? No more helping foster kids. Besides, no one who believes that has ever contributed anything meaningful to the world, have they? Meanwhile, progressives in East Lansing, Michigan are confronting a similarly ominous threat to public health and safety. Catholic blueberry farmers who believe marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman. Steve Tennis owns Country Mill Farms in Charlotte, Michigan, and for the last 6 years, East Lansing has invited Country Mill to participate in their farmers market and has described them as a model vendor. But as fate would have it, he's conservative. He claims he was born that way, but progressives are sure he can change if he tries hard enough. Well, Mr. Tennis, living as his authentic self, has stated publicly that he is not willing to host a same-sex wedding on his farm. The Tennis family is Catholic. In Michigan, that's a perfectly legal choice. Less tolerant states like Washington force people to do things that violate their conscience. Nevertheless, East Lansing decided that the farm's unwillingness to host a same-sex wedding violated their city ordinance against discrimination. Well, there's one glaring problem with this. The farm isn't in East Lansing. The Tennis' farm can't violate an East Lansing ordinance any more than it can violate the Code of Hammurabi. Now, undeterred by the semantics of actual jurisdiction, the city created a policy that requires vendors to comply with the ordinance while at the market and, quote, as a general business practice. Meaning, if you do things we don't allow someplace where it is allowed, you can't do business here. The bigotry is transparent. In any other context, a proposal like this wouldn't pass the straight face test in the city council meeting. Now, the city has every right to require home builders to comply with local building codes. But can you imagine a city telling home builders that they must comply with East Lansing building codes in other jurisdictions? It's never happened because it's obviously stupid. Unless you share the witch hunting impulse. You may not have actually done anything illegal, but I think what you believe is dangerous, so I'm going to do everything I can to drive you out or underground. Because I love tolerance, of course. Now, this isn't just uncivil, it's also illegal. The First Amendment exists to stop governments from making laws that punish people because of what they believe. This new ordinance was written specifically to keep Country Mill Farm out of the farmers market because of what they believe, despite the fact that they had been model vendors. Now, thanks to the help of our friends at the Alliance Defending Freedom, the Tennises have filed a lawsuit asking the court to throw out East Lansing's ordinance. While they will fight it out in court, this case provides an important lesson for the rest of us. Only 5 short years ago, before marriage was redefined, they assured us that no one is going to lose their religious freedom. Quickly, they moved to, you must abide by our laws, even if they violate your religious freedom. And now, at least in East Lansing, we've arrived at, even if you abide by our laws, we'll look for ways to harm you just because we don't like you. It remains unclear whether East Lansing will require those who believe marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman to wear a yellow star when they visit town. For the Family Policy Institute of Washington, this is Joseph Backholm.